We believe everyone sees all of the same imperfections that we see about ourselves. But the truth is, everyone is just living in their own world, relating everything back to themselves. Just like what we're doing at this very moment. Because that's what it means to be human. We all have the same thoughts, we all have the same feelings, and we all have the same emotions. We all have misfortune, we all have trauma, and we all have suffering. If anything, this should prove to you that none of us are alone, and there is nothing wrong with any of us. I have broken social anxiety down into the two big struggles I see people facing, and that is judgment and performance. Judgment, I believe, stems from our own judgment of self. So now how do we deal with this judgment? Well, take a moment and sit in solitude and really think about what we believe people are judging us for, and then write them all down. Then on a separate piece of paper, create two columns, the first one labeled, Things We Can Control, and the second one labeled, Things We Cannot Control. Now in column 1, there will be things like our thoughts, feelings, emotions, and actions. And now that we know that we can control these things in column 1, we can now take actionable steps to solve them. Now column 2 is quite tricky for most of us because it means we have to surrender and reach a state of acceptance. So how do we surrender and reach a state of acceptance? Well, we have to realize that no matter what we do, the circumstances will not change. But what we can change is the meaning we attach to the situation, how we label things positive or negative, and the identity we create around it. Struggle 2, performance. This one I believe stems from having unrealistic expectations of ourselves while also being underprepared. So how do we change this? We will keep our long-term standards high and we will lower our short-term expectations. This will release a lot of the stress and pressure that would have otherwise been paralyzing. Next, underprepared. Underprepared just means we have yet to apply or acquire the knowledge, skills, or actions that is needed in a given situation. In other words, we have yet to put in the work that is required to get the desired outcome. I will now lay out actionable steps we can start to take to overcome and handle our social anxiety. But before we start, we must know what our why is. Because without a why, we have no reason. And without a reason, we have no action. And without any action, we will never have change. So find a why. Step 1 will be visualization. This will be one of the most important things we can do because it is our own personal simulation machine. Our brain and body literally cannot tell a difference between true visualization and real life. We can practice and learn without any real life consequences while still gaining the skills and capabilities as if we had. So now, how do we reach a state of true visualization? Well, let's close our eyes in a place of solitude and start to picture a scenario. What do we feel, taste, hear, maybe even touch? What thoughts are racing through our mind? What emotions and feelings are arising? And finally, what is our intent in the situation? At this point, our body should really feel like we are living the scenario. And if we're not, just try again until we actually do. So now that we can put ourselves into a true state of visualization, we can really start to visualize who we want to become. What would that feel like? How would we act? And what type of feedback would we possibly receive? Just keep practicing these skills and techniques in the simulation, at least for a couple of weeks. And then after a couple of weeks, set a deadline in between each step. I would recommend 3 to 6 months before moving on to the next step. During each one of these steps, if you ever start to feel nervous or anxious in the moment, here are some immediate ways to calm our nervous system. The first one is my personal favorite, and that is the double inhale breath. We will start by taking a deep inhale through the nose, followed by another short burst in through the nose, and then an exhale throughout the mouth. And our exhale must be longer than our inhale through the nose, or it will produce a negative effect. Let's do one real quick. I absolutely love that one. The second one is havening. Now, there are many different techniques to havening, but I'm only going to be showing you one. This one too is my personal favorite. We will be rubbing our face around the eye region. These are techniques to calm you immediately in the moment. Step 2, apply what we've learned in visualizing and start practicing with a family member or partner. And this might be challenging and embarrassing in and of itself, but still no real life consequences and very safe to do. Step 3, start testing our new skills on friends and neighbors. This will be the first step out in public with our new approach in life, but still very low stakes. Step 4, slowly start attending the small situations you would normally avoid. The point of this process is to create a lot of small positive reinforcements over a long period of time. So when we start looking for evidence on whether or not we will be okay in this situation, we will see that yes, we will be okay, because we have all of this past information and proof showing us that we have what it takes to manage this situation. That is the end of how to deal with social anxiety. I truly hope this video has helped everyone, and thank you for tuning in.